relationships.
Thank you for
All right, so the first ones, they have a picture in your book. I'm going to try to copy it down over here to the side as best as I can so that we can have it for reference. When you copy down your questions for your homework, you just need to copy it down once. You don't need to like copy it down for every single problem. So those are the numbers that are given to the angles just to make it easy. They didn't use letters for these. So these are going to ask you to basically identify if certain angles are like a linear pair, if they are vertical angles or whatnot. And then the next set of problems will give us a new picture. And we'll actually be like finding the values of angles and stuff like that. So 9... are angle 5 and angle 9 a linear pair? Okay, so angle 5 is here, 9 is here. They make a straight line, so these ones would be. Are angle 5 and angle 8 vertical angles? So 5 here, 8 here. So yep, they have opposite rays that are both sides of their angles. So yes, these are vertical angles. Are angle 9 and angle 6 vertical angles? What do we think about that one? So is this one and this one vertical angles? What? Nope. They are not, because they do not have two sides that are opposite rays. They have one side that is, but the other side is not. I'm going to do this so that we know there's a new picture that goes with these. So this one is going to give us just basically it's two intersecting lines. And the angles, I don't know why they numbered them this way, but they did. These ones are asking us if it's always, sometimes, or never true. And as most people would say, these are always, sometimes, or never confusing. So, let's see, 15. If the measure of angle 4 is equal to 130 degrees, then the measure of angle 2 is equal to 50 degrees. So they're looking at 2 and 4. So if 4 is 130 degrees, they're saying then that this one has to be 50 degrees. Is this always true, sometimes true, or never true? Would these two add up to be 180?
Yes.
Yes, so this would be always true. Because the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 should be equal to 180. And if I plug those numbers in, they are. Um, 17. The measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 4. So they're saying that these two angles here are equal to these two angles here. Is that always, sometimes, or never true? Always, because they both should add up, both sets should add up to 180. So this is always true. 19. The measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees minus the measure of angle 3. So they're saying that this one should be 90 minus whatever this value is. Is that always, sometimes, or never true?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So they're saying that this one, angle 2 here, should be equal to 90 minus whatever this angle is.
No.
Right. What should it be instead?
180.
Yep, it should be instead 180 minus the measure of angle 3 would be equal to the measure of angle 2. Okay, now, it's not asking you to correct it, but I think it's smart to correct it because that'll prove if you know, like, what you're doing or not, right? I always hated the questions that were like, true or false? If they're false, fix them. Like, but it's good because it shows if you really know rather than that you're just guessing between 3 options. Another one, just as like an example, if they asked you, or they said angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent. Is this always, sometimes, or never true? And we're assuming that all we have is the picture as a visual and what they told us.
Sometimes.
Yep, sometimes. So it's possible that they could be congruent. In this particular picture, they don't look congruent, right? I think we can agree with that. However, it is possible that they could be, so that's why we would say sometimes. So that's where I would say the sometimes are the most confusing ones. If you're like, well, I feel like it could be, but it also might not be, that's probably a good hint that it's a sometimes thing, right? All right, next problems. Finding angle measures. So basically now they're going to actually give us a value and we're going to be taking it and figuring out what it's equal to. So let me do this again because we've got a new figure here. We've got thing here and one here like this. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so 21 says if the measure of angle 8 is equal to 80 degrees, then the measure of angle 6 is equal to, and then they give us a blank and we have to fill it in. So if angle 8 is 80 degrees, what must be true of angle 6? You can just sit over there. Yep, they have to be congruent, so this must also be 80 degrees because these are vertical angles, right? Uh, 23. If the measure of angle 9 is equal to 123 degrees, then the measure of angle 7 is equal to what?
123.
Yep. Yep, so 123. Forgot to put my little line there. 27. If the measure of angle 8 is equal to 26 degrees, then the measure of angle 7 is equal to. So if this is 26 degrees, how would I go about finding angle 7?
180 minus 26 is equal to 7. Or
Yep.
angle 7.
Yep, measure of angle 7 would be 180 minus the measure of angle 8, or in this case, we know this is 26. So 180 minus 26 would be 150, nope.
154.
Yeah. So 154 degrees would be that angle there. Questions on those? All right, like I said, we're not going to do the clock problems because they just get a little bit confusing, and that would be a harder question to give you on like a quiz or something. So we're skipping those.
Thank you.
So we're jumping down a little bit. You can just sit right there. So I say we're jumping down. Actually, that's after the next questions, but we're skipping those anyways. 31. Nope, 29 first. All right, 29, they give you a picture. So you should copy these pictures over, obviously, because everyone's going to be different. And they give you like a math equation or just like a variable. But they say 6x plus 19 is that angle, and then this angle is x. And they want us to solve for the missing variable or variables if there's two, kind of like the one we had in the example earlier. So what do I know has to be true of these two angles here?
Which
These two that I'm trying to solve for.
They're equal to 180 degrees.
Yep, they have to be equal to 180 degrees. So I'm going to take this and say 6x plus 19 plus x is equal to 180. And so then I'm going to combine like terms. So 7x plus 19 equals 180. Subtract 19, 7x is equal to 161. And then divide by 7. 23. Yeah, so x is 23. And that's all they're asking for. If they then ask you, like in the problem we had on the PowerPoint, to solve for the actual angle, then we would need to do that. But they would give you like angle names if you were going to do that. But these ones, like I said, don't ask for that. 31. We have obviously another picture. This one has something in every spot. So we've got 6x minus 32. We've got 2x minus 20. I've got 3y minus 8. And y minus 12. All right, so this one's more like the one that was in the PowerPoint. We're solving for x and y here. So what do I know has to be true about the two angles that have an x in them?
Equal 180 degrees.
They equal 180. So I'm going to set them up. 6x minus 32, and then plus these ones. So plus 2x minus 20 is equal to 180. Combine like terms. So 8x minus 52 equals 180. Add 52, 8x is equal to 132. 132 divided by 8.
Wait.
It's
Yeah.
add- 'cause you add
Yeah.
232.
cookie point.
Cookie point!
I put it in the cookie jar. All right. 232 divided by 8 is
32 divided by 8 is 4.
24.
200 divided by 8. Wait, not this.
because you're doing it backwards. 8 goes into 23 2 times. That's 16.
Three times. No? Three times, yeah.
Oh, it's 2. It would be 24.
24. No.
9 times 8 is 72. Y'all are working backwards. You started with the 32. You got to start with the 23. Well, you got to start with the 2, but 23. So it would be 29. So that's the x value. Again, if they actually asked us to find what each of the angles were, we would need to take that and plug that in for x to do it. Now they want us to find y. So over here, what has to be true of these two angles?
Equal to
180.
Yep, so y minus 12 plus 3y minus 8 equals 180. So then I've got 4y minus 20 equals 180. Let's see if I can add correctly this time. 4y equals 200. So y equals 50. And that would be the other one. Again, if they wanted us to actually solve, we'd plug that in. You can just right there. We'd plug that in. All right, one more like this, just so that we have seen there's a slightly different thing to this one. 35. We've got angle. I don't know why I just made that really large. I'm going to make it smaller. And like this. All right, so this one is 6x, this is 11y, and this is 4x plus 16. So what's different about this one compared to the last two?
One of them's missing.
One of them is missing.
It's congruent.
Well,
to
the first one
11.
had missing pieces also. What?
11y and the empty space are congruent.
Okay, and what else do we know then because of that?
the X.
6 x and 11y are 180, and 4x plus 106. Is that
16.
16? And 11y are 180 as well.
Yep, and there's one other thing that we know. If these two are vertical angles, what's also true of these?
Vertical angle.
They're also vertical angles, right? Because they have their opposite rays. And so what we would say, and what I was looking for about specifically what's different about this one, is that 6x is equal to 4x plus 16. Okay, so that's different in that they're not equal to 180 this time, they're equal to each other. So I'm going to need to subtract 4x, so that gives me 2x is equal to 16. Divide by 2, so x is equal to 8. Now I can take that information and I can use it to solve for y. So now I'm going to have to plug in to solve. So I know that, as Michael pointed out, we can either do it as these two are equal to 180 or these two. I would say there's less math involved if we use these two, so I would probably recommend those, but it works either way. So we would have 6x plus 11y is equal to 180. But I'm going to plug this value here in. So 6 times 8 plus 11y equals 180. That would be 48 plus 11y equals 180. 11y equals 132. Go in the right direction this time. And then divide by 11, y equals 12. So that would be the value for y. So that one required us to find one piece first to be able to find the other one, right? Because we can't find x and y at the exact same time. All right, last two problems are doing complementary and supplementary angles. So the first one says angles A and B are complementary. Find the measure of A and the measure of B. So the measure of angle A and angle B are complementary. And we're finding the measure of them. So we have in the problem 45, the measure of A is equal to 5x plus 8. The measure of B is equal to x plus 4. So what does it mean for angles to be complementary?
They equal 90 degrees.
Yep, when you add them together, they equal 90 degrees. And so we're going to take these and add them together and set it equal to 90. So this is going to be 5x plus 8 plus x plus 4 equals 90. And then we're going to solve So I've got 6x plus 12 equals 90. Subtract 12, 6x equals 78. Anybody know what 78 divided by 6 is?
14, I think.
Nope.
16.
Nope. 13.
Yay. Someone got it.
Now, that's just solving for x. Okay, they asked us in the instructions to solve for the measure of A and the measure of B. So I need to take and plug this in up here. And so this would be 5 times 13 plus 8. And that would be
65 plus 8, which is 72. No, 73.
73. Yep. And then down here, 13 plus 4.
72.
Yep. So those were the two for that one. Supplementary ones now are the same, except for supplementary is equal to what?
180.
Yep. So in this one, they're telling us that angle A and angle B are supplementary. So 51, the measure of A is 12x plus 1. The measure of B is x plus 10. So we're going to take them and set the two things, add them together and set them equal to 180. So 12x plus 1 plus x plus 10 equals 180. So I've got 13x plus 11 equals 180. So then 13x equals 169. 169 divided by 13.
13.
13. It's a perfect square. So x is 13, but again, I'm not done. I need to plug it in up here. So 12 times 13 plus 1 is
12 times 13, 144 plus 12. 156, so 150, yeah, 157.
Yep. Yeah, with the plus 1. And then over here, same thing, plug it in, 13 plus 10, nice and easy, 23. And if you're ever not sure, we can obviously take these two and add them together and they should be equal to 180, right? And then same thing up here with this one. We can add them together and they should be equal to 90. Any questions on this stuff?
Seems pretty,
Pretty chill if you know the definition of things overall.
the different steps of where to put the numbers, probably useful.
Yeah. What? All right, problems are 8 through 26 even, and then 30, 32, 36, 46, and 50. So with the ones, again, that had like problems 20 through 27, for example, all have one picture. You can just draw the picture one time and then just write out the question.
Your mom helped me too.
So
He understood it a little bit.